Welcome back to Currency 365 and welcome to another Iraq Dinar RV Breaking News, episode 12, July 10th, 2015. Before we get into Iraq Breaking News, let's talk about the Iranian news. Okay, I'm going to keep you guys informed with the Iranian sanctions and the nuclear deal. Alright, so let's read four headlines. Alright, it says Iran's nuclear negotiators hope to leave Vienna by July 13th. And another headline says Iran says leaders' non-optimism about nuclear talks emerging as true. And then another headline says the P5+1 extended Iran talks until July 13th. And then the last headline says an interim Iran nuclear deal extended to Monday to allow more talks, U.S. says. All right, so the deal for this nuclear sanction removal continues to get extended and extended and extended. We feared this was going to happen once they met. They didn't meet the June 30th deadline. So here we go. You know, they keep extending it. They're having more and more problems. It looks like this is never going to happen. Iran looks like they want to go to the BRICS and join the Russia and China alliance, which they probably will do. So we don't know what's going on with that and what's going to happen with that, okay? But I know Iran is doing contracts with India. They're doing contracts with the Eurozone. They're doing contracts with China and Russia and other countries. So let's just see how it plays out, all right? So let's move on to Iraq breaking news, all right? So Iraq news, the central bank announced the completion of the controls of the initiative to finance small and medium projects and submit them to the governor with a view to approval and approval. I don't know why they had two approvals there, but that's the translation we got, okay? So basically the CBI has announced the completion of the release of funds for the projects, all right? We knew that they were going to do this in July. They said that they were going to release funds for small and medium loans, and this is what we're seeing. And they're saying they can actually have it done during the next 2 days. Now, this is Iraq, so let's hold up on that. Okay, the next 2 days means Saturday and Sunday. So by Monday, they should be ready to go to issue small and medium loans so people can start buying cars, creating jobs, building a website or whatever they have to do, okay? Start a small business, okay? So this is good news if they actually keep their end on this. All right, so they said they're ready to go in the next 2 days. So let's see if they can start pumping money into Iraq to grow the economy, okay? So that's good news. Let's move on. All right, let's see. Article quote: the Iraqi government plans to issue local bonds worth $5 billion. We already know that, starting in the last quarter of this year. Okay, so they moved it to the last quarter of this year. So what is the last quarter of this year? September, October, November, December. All right, so each quarter has 4 months, right? Or am I doing that wrong? No. It's four. It's 4 months. It's 4 quarters. Each quarter has 3 months. So that means October, November, December. So by October, Iraq plans to issue bonds worth $5 billion. So that means, well, we believe that the new banking system will launch October 1st. So does that make kind of sense? I guess it makes sense. I don't know, but this is what they keep moving it back because they just said it was going to be in August. Now they're saying it's going to be in the 4th quarter, which is September. No, which is October. I keep messing that up. Okay, so it's October, November, December, which that is the 4th quarter. So this is interesting. They keep moving it back and moving it back and moving it back. So, but they also says the bonds will be issued in U.S. dollars in stages based on the investors' demand, and investors will choose between receipt of an asset at maturity in dollars or dinars, but at a better price than the market price. All right, so they're giving them a choice of returning either U.S. dollars or dinar. So that means by October, they're saying that the dinar will probably be par value of the dollar. That you can actually, if you want dinar back instead of the U.S. dollar, you can have it. Okay, you can have the choice of the dinar. Okay, and then the CBI will determine if the loans are given out at a new value or not. Okay, so this is interesting. They're gonna give him. You're gonna have a chance to get it back at the Iraqi dinar instead of the dollar, and you get a higher return than the market price. Okay. So let's go on to the next article. The government intervention of the World Bank as a partner in the formulation of the budget in 2016. Quote, adding that the World Bank agreed to grant the loan in exchange for conditions related to conduct real administrative and economic reforms in the government system. So the World Bank is saying, yeah, we'll loan you some money now, but we need to formulate and implement the economic plans. Okay, so this is big news right here. But this is for the 2016 budget that should have a revalue price on it, right? Because we expect the revaluation by October 1st, right? So the 2016 budget will be dealing with a new revalued price, and the World Bank wants to work with Iraq to formulate that into the budget and make sure everything is good to go with the new prices, with the new tariffs, with all the major laws are going to be in there and everything. So they want to help out with Iraq with the 2016 budget, because it's going to be different budget than all the other budgets they had in a long time, because it's going to have a new revalued price on it, and a lot of other major laws like amnesty and all the other things that are going to be done in 2015 that they want to help out. So that's a telling sign right there as well. Okay, now there's a rumor going on that Iraq got their credit report. Okay, now if Iraq had gotten a credit report, I think the mainstream media would have went crazy. Iraq would have went crazy. Okay, but nothing. We shouldn't hear a rumor. Okay, it should be all over the net. Okay, it was one site. Okay, www.oecd.org. Okay, some site that no one's ever heard about, talking about some credit report. Okay, for Iraq. Okay, that I find it funny because we already know that Shabibi, Mohammed Saleh, Abadi, and everybody would have came out saying, yeah, we got a credit report and we're ready to do business and blah, 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 blah. They would have been excited, okay? So we already know this is not true. Okay, they're talking about something totally different than Iraq's actual credit report. And a lot of us think that they might need an actual revaluation to get a credit report, and some of us don't think that. So that's up in the air. It doesn't really matter. But all I know is that if they had a credit report, it will be all over the blog sites. It will be everywhere. It'll be all over mainstream media. Okay, Iraq has a brand new credit report. Okay, by the major credit reporting agencies. Okay. All right, let's move on. The central bank is committed to its agreement with the Kurdistan oil. All right, so here we go again with the Kurds in Baghdad. Okay, Kurds are getting to the point. Okay, we're still in July, so they're not over the top yet. I said they're gonna go over the top, and they're gonna come to a boiling point in August. So watch August. Right now, they're still on the tipping toe end. Okay, but they're really getting to that point of blowing over. I think we're gonna see that in August. Okay. And then we'll get everything we need to get, okay? And that's good news for us when we see the Kurds actually get to the point of walking away, okay? All right, this article says calls on private banks to combat money laundering in Iraq. All right, so we know that the Council of Ministers approved the draft anti-money laundering and terrorism finance law, which is important law, and it also supports the banking sector. We know that, and now that law should be in Parliament and should be ready to go. So, yep, that it gives the confidence to the global private banks, okay, and it just gives confidence for Iraq's currency that we all hold, or at least some of us hold, because some of us that are listening don't hold actual Iraqi dinar, you know. So, so the currency that we hold, you know, this is the important law because we don't have to get blacklisted and our currency is now worth nothing if that happens. So with the anti-money laundering law, it gives confidence and it takes us away from that blacklist area, and we can you know, see a global market economy from this law. So this is a powerful law. All right, so let's move on. Parliamentary economy expects difficulties in the application of tariffs next month. Okay, so they're saying that it's going to be very hard to put these tariffs laws in next month, okay, across the borders because Dash and they don't even say ISIS anymore. You see, they're not saying ISIS anymore. This article says only Daesh terrorist group. No longer are they saying mentioning name ISIS or ISIL anymore. It's all Daesh. Okay, so it says Daesh is operating in some of the areas, and it's going to be hard to put the terrorist laws in all these areas because Daesh is still operating in some of these areas, which is true. Okay, and another thing is that what do you call it, the full tariffs, can't go on if there's no new exchange rate. Okay, if they haven't lifted the exchange rate, it will be hard to put the new tariff laws everywhere as well. Okay, so they need a new exchange rate to put the tariffs law. I mean, they don't need a new exchange rate, but it's gonna hurt them very much if they don't. Okay. And then they'll be forced to do a new exchange rate. So you would think the exchange rate and the tariff law will come at the same time, or the tariff law will come a week before, or I mean, they could do the exchange rate before or after. It doesn't matter, but they would have to adjust the exchange rate for the tariff laws. Okay, the full tariff laws. Okay, Iraqi Council of Ministers decides to stop the salaries of the state area under the control of Organization State Exchange. Basically, the areas that are under Daesh, the Iraqi Council of Ministers decided to stop the salaries of the staff members. Okay, so they don't feel comfortable, I guess, giving staff members money in the areas that are still controlled by Daesh. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, because Daesh can rob them, steal them, and then use that money for terrorism. All right. So the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, expects the decline in the economy, in the world's economy, this year to its lowest levels. So the global economy will not rise this year by more than 3.3% of what constitutes a decline of 0.02% compared to the April forecast. Okay, so they forecasted it wrong again, as always. The IMF always it always does, and it could be wrong again after the reset. Okay, so and the slowdown compared to the rate of 3.4% recorded in 2014. All right, so they expect the lowest levels, and then boom, September comes and October comes, the reset happens, and things might change around. Who knows? Maliki warns of any targeting of the popular crowd, which is the Shiite crowd, and the approval of the National Guard law. Okay, man, you know what? This dude is. I'm not even gonna pay attention to this dude. Okay, this dude is mad. His son's going to jail, and he's probably next, and he's going down, and whatever, man. I'm not talking about Maliki. All right. Let's see. Kurdistan region looking to conclude a new oil deal with Baghdad. Okay, so talks are still going on. When will that end? Well, they said it was going to end within the next 2 months. So July and August. So by end of August, early September, we should see something, or we should see the Kurds starting to walk out, like I said before, over and over again. All right, so the Eid holiday is actually the official Eid holiday for the Arabic nations is July 17th, next Friday. Let me look at the calendar. Okay, so yep. Okay, so it begins, the first day of Eid is July 17th. So Eid is on a Friday, so the 18th is Saturday, the 19th is Sunday, and then Iraq Parliament will return, I guess, on that Monday or Tuesday from Eid, and then they'll continue with the major laws. Okay, probably the second reading of amnesty, and all the other laws. Maybe we start to see some voting. We still haven't seen. See, we get to the second reading of these laws, and then we never see any voting on them. I'm starting to think that we need a revaluation before they can vote on these laws, because they keep reading in one reading, then they go to a second reading, and then they just put those laws to the shelves, and they say, wait in line. So I'm starting to think that they need a revaluation before these laws can be voted on. That's what it looks like. Or they're putting these laws in a bundle, and then they're going to vote all of them at one time. So it's either one or the other. They're either reading these laws twice and then putting them to the side, and then they're going to be voted on at one time, or they're going to read these laws, first reading, second reading, and then put them to the side, and then revalue, and then vote on them. So it's either one of the two things. But I find it odd that they read these laws one time, two times, and then they do nothing with them. They don't vote on them, and they don't enact them. Okay, so it's very strange, but I think that's the purpose. It's going to be one of those two things: either revaluation, and then they vote on the laws, or they're going to vote all the laws in one basket, and then we'll probably see a revaluation a few days later or a couple of weeks later. Okay, so let's get to the major news, which is Turkey. Okay, or you could say Turkey, which is the former governor of the CBI. Okay, this is what the statements are. Okay, so here it is. The physical and monetary authorities in Iraq now that is seriously considering and bravely adjusting the exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar and including in line with the real price of the operation of the economy and the productive sectors. We know that it will be at the expense of all of our dreams. Strongly, Iraqi dinar, which was worth US $3.33. All right. So now she says, although I think ease the burden immediate dependence on the government's ability to deliver services to its stakeholders with the exchange mentioned price, fit states continue exporting oil and importing goods, which led down to the erosion of the real in which economic sectors for the benefit of service activities or marginal associated abroad often. But the choice is now between the high exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar or building a strong economy, or working with and the market economy efficient mechanisms and address the important part of the budget deficit. Is no longer the exchange rate of 1,500 dinars to the dollar now enough. The economic impact, the negative social to change the exchange rate significantly will be touched through high inflation in Iraq. Wow. And that's coming from Turkey, okay, the former governor of the Central Bank of Iraq. Okay, so basically they're going to have to, the gains for Iraq and its economy is going to be for the ability to deliver to the stakeholders, okay? And they have to make the Iraqi stock market, the ISS, attractive for in the investment law and investors, and to receive trillions of dollars in the global market economy through the stock market. So they need a nice price in the dinar to get people to come in and be attractive to Iraq to invest in the Iraqi stock market. Okay, and he says the dream of a strong dinar worth that used to be worth $3.33. Okay, so he's saying, man, we need to adjust this rate. So that's good news for us. Okay, and it says that we need to benefit the stockholders, man. You know what I mean? So the stockholders of the ISX, the guys who are invested in this country, and the people who are going to invest in this country, we need to make it attractive to the global market so we can so they can come in and put their money in Iraq. All right, so that's coming from Turkey, the former governor of Central Bank. All right, so this is Currency 365. Hope you guys enjoy the almost 20 minutes of the Iraq breaking news, episode 12. It's July 10th, 2015. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Share, subscribe, and like if you like. And that's about it, man. Talk to you guys soon. I'm still doing videos, still grinding for you guys, and everything's looking good as we get ready for the global reset. It looks like in September. It could be earlier, but right now we're looking for September and the launch of the new banking system in October. So everything that's going on in Greece and everything going on in China and America and around the world is a plan, and we're seeing it right here. So thank you guys so much. Peace out.